morning students. Today we are going to revise the Naxal movement part. Now, Naxal movement. What do you mean by the term Naxalite? Let us revise it. The Naxalite term comes from Naxalbari, which was a small village in West Bengal. From West Bengal, it's got its name from that village, Naxalbari. From there were some tribal group who started to raise their voice against the system of the government. They wanted some changes in the system of government for their welfare. So there are section of the Communist Party of India led by Kanu Sanyal and Jungle Santhal initiated a violent uprising in 1967. On 18th May, the Siliguri Kisan Sabha declared its support for the movement. Now, in this situation, that following week, the sharecropper near Naxalbari village was attacked by the landlord's men over a land dispute. When a police team arrived to arrest the peasant leader, it was ambushed by a group of tribals led by Jungle Santhal. In this encounter, a police inspector was killed in a hail of arrows. The event encouraged many Santhal tribals and other poor people to join the movement and to start attacking the local landlords. At the time, the leaders of the movement belonged to the CPIM party. The party was in a coalition government in West Bengal, but the party did not approve the armed uprising. Naturally, all the leaders and a number of Calcutta sympathizers were expelled from the party. This incident became known as the Naxalbari movement. So, what is a Naxalbari movement? So, this incident became known as the Naxalbari movement. What was the Naxalbari movement? Short question, you can write from here. So, we understand now the term that what is the Naxalbari movement. Now, let us come to the cause of the rise of Naxal movement. What were the causes for the rise of Naxal movement? The Naxalite movement in India is a guerrilla insurgency led by a group of left radicals. Communist Mao Zedong was the primary motivation force. They started to get motivation from his line of actions taken. Behind his revolution, which aimed at overthrowing governmental authority, the government's old regime was overthrown by Mao Zedong. So other people were influenced by it. So in this situation, the root of the conflict can be traced in the failure of the Indian government to implement provisions of 5th and the 9th schedules of the Indian Constitution. The 5th schedule states that all the forest reserves and the lands that are inhabited by the scheduled tribes are to be administered by the tribal advisory councils independent of the state government. But no Indian state had implemented the tribal advisory councils. Now, on the other hand, legislation had been passed enabling the pharmaceutical companies to mine and use those lands to set up factories, affecting the local tribal population. That means the local tribal population, the poor people who were living there in villages, they were removed in those areas. This was one cause of the Naxal movement. Another one, in the 9th schedule of the constitution which was passed, a series of land legislation took place. It was observed that there was a concentration of lands among a few rich upper caste of the country. It also imposed land ceiling laws which limit the amount of land that a single person can hold. What was this? What was the 9th schedule in the constitution? That it was observed that there was a concentration of lands among few rich upper class people. It also imposed land ceiling laws. What was this land ceiling laws? Which limited the amount of land that a single person can hold. The excess lands were to be requisitioned and redistributed by the government among the peasants for the purpose of cultivation. Now, these provisions were written in the Indian Constitution to protect the landless farmers and laborers. the failure of the government to implement these provisions. Now these provisions were not implemented only properly, so why not the tribal people will get affected, and they got aggressive in this situation. So what happened? Now Charu Majumdar took place the role, very active role, to show the place of the government and the active participation of it. What was his role? Charu Majumdar, one of the very important leader of the Naxal movement of Bengal. Who was Charu Majumdar? One of the very, very important people in Naxal movement. He played the role. Charu Majumdar changed the story of the tribal people. The history of the tribal people was changed under Naxal. People started to know that who are tribals. In previously, the people did not pay importance only from the British time. The tribals were treated as slaves from the time of British. This particular man gave them a position in the society, in the whole world. People come to understand in all over India that who are these tribal people, who are these Naxals. Naxals were not terrorists, we can't tell. That they were very aggressive. They just wanted to put their demands in front of the government. They were also the common people like us. Okay, so those poor people, they wanted to live peacefully. They wanted to get their right, their virtual rights which was there. They wanted to speak in front of the government. They wanted to come in front of the government, to put their thoughts in front of the government. But this was the thing. They did not play very aggressive role, we can tell. So it wrote a set of 8 monographs. What are these 8 monographs written by Charu Majumdar? This is a very important question. Okay, so what are the 8 monographs written by Charu Majumdar? These are the inside questions. So these 8 monographs outline the ideological principles of the Naxalite movement. In this, the document, he claimed that the Indian government is a bourgeois institution. When it is not working properly, its implementation is improper. He strongly denounced the section of Communist Party that joined the election for operating within the framework of the Constitution of India. He gave a call for a mild struggle over the throw of the Indian state. The peaceful political process would not be able to bring about the necessary changes, which became vested interests controlled the levers of the power. What is the lever of power? The main power pulled under these the monographs. So regulate the wheels of the industry and had a feudal stronghold over the predominantly agrarian economy. An agrarian armed struggle was the only way out for this. So agrarian armed struggle, the term is given agrarian for agriculture. To get the agricultural rights, the land, the armed struggle had been taken place. So it is necessary to build up a secret party organization. The Charu Majumdar group thus wanted total appropriation of the lands and other property of the big Jodhars. Now disarming of their lethal weapons, establishment of a people's government, and annihilation of the Jodhars through armed revolution, Kanu Sanyal group came in power, which wanted to wait and see the result of the seizure of land. That once a land is seized, what was the result of it? And then only would think of an armed revolt. That if any strict action is taken, then they will take an armed revolt against the government. So in 1967, both the groups came to an agreement with the peasants were asked to seize the lands of the Jodhars. That means they forcefully seized the lands. The lands which was not given properly, distributed by the government, they forcefully captured those lands by Jodhars. So these people were actually, they were what doing? They were doing forgery with the lands which were implicated by the government. That these lands were shown as if it was distributed to the tribals, but actually it was not in the hand of tribals. These Jodhars were the people, the middleman, who were taking all the profits from that land and actually showing the name of the tribals there, that these people, these group of peoples are there who are the main owners of the land, taking the profit. This was the thing going on. So Charu Majumdar was a person who highlighted this thing to the government and to the people, that what is going on. So main leaders of the movement were Charu Majumdar. Now let us understand background of Charu Majumdar. Let us study. This is a hero. This particular person became a hero of the tribal population. Charu Majumdar, a god also, you can tell. The Charu Majumdar was born in 1918 in Siliguri, North Bengal. His father was a freedom fighter. He dropped out of college in 1938, and in 1946 he joined the Tebhaga movement, dropping out of college in 1938. He joined the Indian National Congress. So, dropping out of college, what did Charu Majumdar did? He joined the Indian National Congress and tried to organize the BD workers. The BD workers, the people who were working in the factories, they were tribal people only. These people were organized in the groups. Later, he left Congress and joined the Communist Party of India, that is CPI, to work in its peasant front. Very soon, an arrest warrant was issued against him, and he went to underground for the first time as a leftist activist. As a leftist activist, he went underground, although the CPI was banned at the outbreak of the Second World War. During the time of the Second World War, it was banned. But he continued the CPI activist among the peasants secretly and was made a member of the CPI Jalpaiguri District Committee. A secret committee was formed. CPI activities among the peasants was made a member of CPI Jalpaiguri District Committee in 1942. So, what was the importance of the Jalpaiguri District Committee of 1942? In this committee, he now organized a seizure of crops campaign. The crops which were made out of the land, those were stolen away by them. They were seized. They were forcefully doing. If you will not give, I will take it. This was the thing, and that was good. If they are not getting the right, they are disturbing the system of the government. That was okay. Why is this government is not looking at them? Their government has to look at their problems also. They are also people. They are also having life. They have hunger. They have stomach. They also need food. They have requirements. They need shelter. They are removed from their own home, and factories are getting established in the forest areas. Their main living land is forest, and forest is getting removed from their hand. So that was the only thing for which they were fighting. They means Charu Majumdar, for the right. So in this situation, he now organized a seizure of crops. In 1946, he joined the Tebhaga movement and embarked on a proletariat belligerent struggle in North Bengal. Later on, he worked among the tea garden workers in Darjeeling. The Communist Party was banned in 1948, and he spent some years in jail also. In January 1954, he married Leela Majumdar Sengupta, a fellow CPI member from Jalpaiguri. The couple then moved to Siliguri, which became his center of activities for a few years. His ailing father, Charu Majumdar's father, and unmarried sister also lived in abject poverty. Both of them lived in very big poverty, but then also he was fighting for the poor people. During the mid-1960s, Charu Majumdar organized a leftist faction in the Communist Party of India in North Bengal. In 1967, a militant peasant uprising took place at Naxalbari, led by his comrade in arms, Kanu Sanyal. This group later became known as the Naxalites. He then wrote 8 articles known as the Historic 8 Documents. What was this? The historic monographs. This article provided the ideological foundation of Naxalites. How Naxalites formed, what was the reason of their formation. He argued in these articles that revolution must take path of armed struggle. And very soon Charu Majumdar broke away and formed the All India Coordination Committee of Communist Revolutionary, which in 1960 founded Communist Party of India with Charu Majumdar as a General Secretary. So these articles provided ideological foundation of Naxalites. He argued in these articles that revolution must take path of armed struggle on pattern of Chinese revolution, and thus this is the background for starting of All India Coordination Committee of Communist Revolutions, which was having the Chinese revolution lines of action ideas. He was ultimately captured from his hideout on July 16, 1972. He died on 28th July 1972 in the police lockup. He was died, it is told. Though the radical leftist movement has seen many ideological splits since the late 1970s, Naxalism continues to inspire a number of leftist groups. Another important leader of the Naxal movement was Kanu Sanyal. He was born in 1932. He was one of the founding leaders of the Communist Party of India, CPI. He was the leading fathers of CPI, and formed in 1969. When was the CPI formed? Leaders of Communist Party of India, Marxist-Leninists, formed in 1969. He announced the formation of the original CPIML on Lenin's birthday in 1969 at a public rally in Calcutta. He came out with the Therai Report on Revolution in India, which openly denounced the anarcho-nihilist policies of Charu Majumdar. He denounced anarcho-nihilist policies of Charu Majumdar. He proposed the building up of mass people's organization which will organize the communist socialist revolution path shown by Mao Zedong. He contradicted, he denounced in the Therai Report that the anarcho-nihilist policies of Charu Majumdar should not be followed, and his loyalist, he proposed that means he denounced the system. He now proposed what? New lines of action, that was communist socialist revolution now he supported. And this was on the line of action of China revolution. He actively solicited help from China also to further prove his goals. He had publicly declared several occasions received some kind of support from Chinese government, but this has not been conclusively proved. After the failure of the Naxalite uprising, Kanu Sanyal went into hiding. And after failure of Naxalite uprising, Kanu Sanyal went into hiding. The death of his colleague Charu Majumdar, the Naxal movement disintegrated. Kanu Sanyal claimed to have abandoned violent means and accepted parliamentary practice of the form of revolutionary activities. He supported the parliamentary form of the revolutionary activities. News of his arrest sparked off wide violence, and thus now CPIML, what it did, the cadres destroyed the property, raided and attacked educational institution. He was released from the jail in 1977 following the change of central government, West Bengal. And Jyoti Basu, the new CPIM chief minister of West Bengal, personally intervened to release him from jail. On January 2006, Kanu Sanyal was again arrested along with his other fellow agitators while protesting against the closure of tea gardens at the bound of Rajdhani Express train at New Jalpaiguri railway station, Siliguri, North Bengal on 23rd March 2010. He was found hanging at his residence near Siliguri. He was 81 years old and was suffering from old age related cardiopulmonary ailment also, it is told. So Naxalite violence was at peak from about middle of 1970 to the mid of 1971. This is the time period. So this is the measures taken by Charu Majumdar and Kanu Sanyal to put the Naxalite movement in strength and power, though at the end it failed with the intervention of the government. You can tell proper motivation they did not get, or the line of action taken by them, they did not get the proper support. So in this situation, the Naxalite movement came in power, but it failed at the end. In this situation, we are going to today's class will end In the next class we will continue with the government measures, and today we are going to discuss the insight questions from the topics which I have given today in the video. Insight questions you will get, which is very important to be studied for your further writing of the notes. Okay students, so let us be ready to study about the questions from insight. Thank you students.